The blue is the Hunsberg, and tall is bad. So Kilimanjaro is down here. You can see it's below 25, around 25. Anything above 1 means that the atmosphere is like looking through a storm cloud. Can you see the sun when it's raining? You know what I mean? It's so dark. You don't have these really bad storms here. You can't see the sun. It becomes dark, right? That's what happens in millimeter if you're anything up here above 1. Above 1 means you can see nothing. So all of this means the telescope on the Hunsberg is terrible. The telescope on Kilimanjaro is actually quite good. And I compare it here, the black is almost in Chile, and you can see Chile is much better, but Kilimanjaro is very good as well. So this actually is done from satellite data. So the Kilimanjaro site is way better than the site in the Hunsberg. So why would anybody in his right mind want to put a telescope on the Hunsberg? I'll tell you why. Politics. Because they believe that the Namibian government is going to support them, that the South African government is going to give them money, and they think they can get the telescope built there. And I know both those answers are probably not very high. Namibia is keen to help, but they don't have money, and South Africa has no money either. And this little diagram down here just tells you exactly what this says. If it's above 100%, that means you can see everything, but this is not, so it doesn't around. It goes like that. Anyways, I won't go into great detail. But the site of Kilimanjaro is better. And I think I ramble on, I'll ignore this. Okay. So I'm going back to that little diagram I did of the 4 areas, right? Prestige, human capital development, tech transfer. And these are the kind of things that we'll get. World-class, world's highest observatory, world-class science, world-class site, needs astronomers, engineers, technicians, yes. Cutting-edge technologies, excellent laboratories for future tech development. These are the kind of things you can get that we can optimize. And with the appropriate government policies, we can make these very powerful. Like we put up bursaries for students and so on and stuff like that in technologies. But there is no way that that's going to pay for a telescope. So the real one is economic activity. And this is the word I want you to look at. Right here, astrotourism. Okay? So this is the key to it. The other one might possibly be leveraged for new opportunities, but astrotourism is the real key. And for example, this telescope right here, which is kind of cool, it's like a giant eyeball. This is called the 30-meter telescope. It's a 30-meter in diameter optical telescope. It's even larger than this room. It's a mirror that's 3 times bigger than this room. It's enormous. And it was supposed to go on Mauna Kea. A $1 billion investment got stopped because the tribesmen of Mauna Kea believe that their mountain is sacred and therefore do not want to have an optical telescope up there. So now they're looking for a new home. So that home could have been Kilimanjaro. Because I believe Kilimanjaro will be as good as Mauna Kea. So this $1 billion investment could have come to Kilimanjaro. And these are all about giant telescopes around the world. So that's called leveraged economics. So what we mean by leverage is we have a good site, and they put their telescope at our site. So once we found a good site, then they might be willing to come and invest in our site. But we need a road, because this is these telescopes, and this is the type of equipment that brings it up the mountain. You can take it piece by piece and install it on the mountain by helicopter, but working at 4,000 and 5,000 meters with helicopters, not easy. Not easy at all, and very expensive. So you need a road. And so how do you pay for roads? And that's the key. And this is an example of getting up to Momentum Peak. So I'll just carry on. But the real answer is tourism. Okay? And what I want to show you here is the people who climb Kilimanjaro are adventure tourists. They're these people, less than 10% of all tourist market. The people who go snorkeling in Zanzibar There's about 20 million worldwide versus scuba divers, 6 million. So, and it's saying, you can see it here, 175,000 people are tanning in Zanzibar, 330,000 watch game in, what did I write down there? What I meant to say there was Serengeti. So 330,000 people watch game on the Serengeti, and only 25,000 people climb Kilimanjaro. Okay? Only 25,000. And they generate an income, which is good, of $50 million a year to the Kilimanjaro economy, okay, in and around the mountain of Kilimanjaro. They employ 11,000 people directly, porters, cooks, guides, and so on, right? And the parts people, and. It's probably more like 12 or 13,000 directly, but let's just say that's the number. So the real answer for astronomy and tourism is to try to find a way to change Kilimanjaro from an adventure destination to a leisure destination. And the only way we can do that is by getting people up the mountain inexpensively, easily, safely, and not affect the rest of the economy or the ecology of the mountain. And you do that well, you don't do that by that, I'll tell you that in a moment. This is the average view of Kilimanjaro. It's a person flying over it by airplane. They don't even give 1 cent to the Tanzanian economy. So Tanzania doesn't even make money from the fact that people think this mountain is in Kenya. So people are telling people around the world this is Kenya. Kilimanjaro's Kenya. That's what I've heard. Yeah, I didn't know that. I was in Tanzania. Anyways, but the adventure tourists, and this is myself and my daughter on top of Kilimanjaro. So here we are up there on the top. You can see the snow and the frost. It was minus 25 that day with the wind chill. It was comfortable for a Canadian. Sorry. Okay? But this is the typical view that a person seeing Kilimanjaro takes, because I flew from Kenya, literally. I went to what's the airport in Kenya? Yes, I went to Mr. Kenyatta Airport, and I flew from there to Kilimanjaro International Airport, and while we flew, we circled the mountain once we could get some nice photos. But this is the average photo that someone will take of Kilimanjaro, and not 1 cent would go into the economy of Tanzania if they just simply flew and carried on to South Africa or whatever destination they're going to. So we need to find a way to take the leisure tourists and get them into this mountain and onto the mountain and make them happy, because we can increase the economy around Kilimanjaro by a factor of 5 to 10. So there again, your leisure tourists, your adventure tourist climbs Kilimanjaro, your leisure tourists would want to go, that's what we want to put them. I want to put them in a place where I do not affect the local economy due to this kind of tourism. So this is the Rongai route that I went up, and I would love to keep ourselves well away so nobody can actually even see what the leisure tourists are doing. And that's how we do it. We build something like this, and we bring tourists up in these cable cars. And if we could do that, then we try to build something very exotic like that. We, being astronomers, build this. Investors build that. So we would look for a public-private investment. We would look for the government to be on board and get investors willing to build a huge system like that. And I can show you a video of what that thing looks like, which is really kind of cool. So let's do that. And I'm almost done, so please just bear with me for a moment. I know this can be lengthy. Sound is not important, so let me just put the sound off. Okay. So this is Mont Blanc in Italy and France, and they've actually built this thing. It cost about 110 million euros, and they take people from about 1,800 meters to 3,800 meters. It costs, as I said, it costs. But these cars, they actually rotate. They're glass bubbles. They actually rotate as they go up the mountain. So you really would give people an incredible view of Kilimanjaro if it was to be built. So the idea is to get them up, so they start off at the lower part, then they get inside, they wait for their turn. You have a restaurant and whatnot at the bottom, and at the midpoint they have a conference center and so on. Now they're going up the mountain. And can you imagine having a tour guide sitting in that car? So we're increasing the number of people being employed, and the idea would be to actually have them talk about the ecology as you're going up the mountain. So you're actually educating people already. And on top of which, you're actually telling them that they're only halfway on their journey, because once they get to the top, they may have checked off their bucket list that they got to the top of Kilimanjaro, but they did not walk. So you want to encourage them to now walk the mountain as well. So it's a form of advertising and grow both economies. So then they carry on. But this exists, and they charge people 50 euros to go up this cable car. And it takes up something like 300,000 to 400,000 people a year up the mountain in multiple months. And they go up to this crazy spot at the top. And as I said, the car rotates, so you get 360-degree views of everything. And there is the top. Now, of course, we're not going to get the snow. We're not going to have that. But we will get a lot better things, to be honest. And I think Kilimanjaro stuff that. We go back to where it was. All right. So I'm on to my last slide. So what I'm actually talking about here, and it may not make any sense. Remember when I first started talking, I became an astronomer because I watched them walk on the moon in 1969. And what I'm suggesting is we need to find a way to create our aspirational moment. I'm not saying just build a cable car and telescope on Kilimanjaro. What I'm saying is build something so technologically advanced, both of them, that you can use it in all the advertising that's done for tourism in Tanzania for the next 20 years. It tells the world that Tanzania is a very developed, very highly technologically advanced country, and every student that goes over the world, oh, you're from Tanzania. And suddenly you change the way people perceive the country. So tourism can lead not only to tourist dollars into the economy, it can also change the perceptions of the country at a much higher level. If you build the cable car system with a very high tech, and it's got to look cool. You can't just build a rinky-dink telescope up here and think that's okay. Don't do that. Forget it. Make it look like this eyeball. Make it look cool. Be high-tech, as high-tech as possible. Be at the cutting edge. And this you would get investors to do. So you get the investors to do a whole lot. So I thank you for your time. I hope it was helpful. And I hope one day we can take our first step to exciting the youth of tomorrow in Tanzania to become scientists like this poor soul standing in front of you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Do we have questions? Would you like to ask questions on the table? What do you want? Before you open.
I was wondering about the project, the SCAO project. Will it be coming to Tanzania or will it be going to India?
No, it's not coming to Tanzania. The sites were chosen, the remote stations. They're building the core in South Africa, and they're building remote stations and a sort of a spiral going outwards across Africa. And most of the sites are sitting in Namibia, Botswana, Mozambique, and Madagascar, with one site in Mauritius, Zambia, Kenya, and Ghana. So there'll be no sites in Tanzania itself. It just didn't seem to fit into the diagram. To be honest with you, I don't believe they're going to build any of the outstations. I don't think they're going to build stations in Botswana and Namibia even.